So, you're thinking of running the New York City Marathon. Sure you want to do that? While the course is very challenging and demanding both physically and mentally, it's also one of the most rewarding and satisfying days of my life. I like to tell people it was fun until it wasn't. I was able to get into the New York City Marathon through New York Roadrunners 9+1 program, where you run 9 races, you volunteer for another the year prior, and then you're guaranteed entry for the following year's marathon. Here's a quick rundown of my experience. It was my first marathon, what I liked about it, what I didn't expect about it, and what I would do differently. The course begins in Staten Island and takes you across the Verrazano Bridge into Brooklyn. From Brooklyn, you head north and head towards Queens and you enter the Queensboro Bridge. From there, you hit the Upper West Side, you stop briefly in the Bronx, and then you head back down through Manhattan, where you cross the finish line at Central Park. New York Roadrunner requires you to fill out a form on their website to tell them your mode of transportation to get there, whether that's a Staten Island ferry, the Midtown bus, or the New Jersey transportation. For me, I stayed in New York, or Manhattan rather, so I took the Staten Island ferry. Once you arrived at the Staten Island ferry, there's tons of volunteers with cowbells and whistles cheering you on, and it's a really good way to start your day and get the energy going. Once you arrive at the Verrazano Bridge, you kind of hang out, wait for your wave to start, and then once your wave starts, you're off. Once you cross the bridge, you enter Brooklyn, where you see some cool parts of the borough like Park Slope and Williamsburg. And once you hit the Queensboro Bridge, this is a little tricky part of the course, just because you're already halfway there. There's no crowd to cheer you on. You're already kind of drained a little physically and mentally. And it's about a mile long, so it's kind of just a mile of you just being in your thoughts and trying to get through the race. Now, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Once I got out that Queensboro Bridge, my phone started dying, my quads started locking up, my calves felt like they were about to rip off. So I didn't get too much footage of the views and the crowd and things like that. Plus, I wasn't vlogging at the time, so I didn't think of recording it and sharing it with you guys. Now, the trickiest part of the whole course, in my opinion, is mile 23 to basically the end of the race. You're constantly going on a steady incline, which in my opinion is rough, especially at the end at mile 23 when you're completely drained at that point. And it's really a tough, grueling way to end the race. My goal was to finish in under 4 hours, but I started cramping and like I said before, it was really tough to finish the race. So my official finish time was 4 hours, 1 minute and 50 seconds. Once you cross the finish line at Central Park, you have to walk about an extra mile just to get out of the park. There's tons of traffic, there's everybody kind of just standing there. And it's what people refer to as the dead zone. Unfortunately for me, I didn't even make it that mile. I didn't even make it about 100 feet until my legs completely cramped up and I had to go to a medical tent. In the medical tent, there were some physical therapists and other medical professionals that were able to help me and get me back to a point where I could at least walk and get out of Central Park. But I made sure before I left to get one of these bad boys, which is the ultimate goal at the end of any race anyway. So if you ask me, I think it was worth it. So what I liked about the race, I mean, obviously you're running through New York City, there's tons of views, skyscrapers, there's literally millions of people cheering you on, and it's really an experience like no other. What I would do differently is I would definitely incorporate more hill training. New York City is very sneaky when it comes to those hills, especially when you're running them. Would I do it again? Absolutely. In fact, I'm doing the Chicago Marathon this October as I'm trying to get my 6-star medal. And that was my experience in the New York City Marathon. If you guys have any questions, comments, anything you want to say, feel free to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you later.